Because Jesus came to establish His spiritual kingdom. He did not come to take over the political system of the world. A little bit later on, actually Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane. They came to arrest Him. And I want you to notice what Peter did. And remember this because we're going to come back to it in the next 3 or 4 lectures. Matthew 26 and verses 50 to 52. Now we're going to talk about the final days of Jesus before His ascension to heaven. Matthew 26 verse 50. And suddenly, one of those who were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword, struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. By the way, this was Simon Peter. And he wasn't aiming at the ear, he was aiming at the head, but he was a fisherman, not a soldier. And so it says that he cut off his ear. Now notice what Jesus said. What did Jesus say? Good, well done, Peter. Defend my kingdom. Use the sword. Kill him. Is that what He said? No. Did He say to the other disciples, you cowards, why don't you join Peter in fighting for my kingdom? No. Notice verse 52. These are the key words I want you to remember. But Jesus said to him, put your sword in its place. Put your what? Your sword in its place. For all who take the sword will perish by the sword. He who kills with the sword must be what? Must be killed with the sword. Those words are in Revelation 13 verse 10, and we will study them in the next couple of lectures. And so you know what they did with Jesus? They arrested Him in the Garden of Gethsemane, and then they took Him to the Sanhedrin. In other words, He had His religious trial. Notice Matthew chapter 26 and verse 57. Matthew 26 and verse 57. And those who had laid hold of Jesus led Him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were what? Were assembled. Let me ask you, was His trial a religious trial or was His trial a political trial? His trial, first of all, was a religious trial. And by the way, it was a travesty in justice. Let me mention some of the things that they did which were against Jewish law. Number one, they employed false witnesses. That was forbidden by Jewish law. They had a trial at night. That was forbidden by Jewish law. They slapped Jesus before they pronounced the sentence against Him. That was a violation of Jewish law. He had right to counsel. They did not give Him the right to counsel. That was a violation of Jewish law. They made Him self-incriminate Himself. That was a violation of Jewish law. In fact, the trial, according to Jewish law, had to be public, and they made it private. And furthermore, it was forbidden by Jewish law to have any trial or any sentencings on Friday, Saturday, or a feast day. And they violated that.